So you probably see hundreds of ads online every single day. But have you ever stopped to think about the crazy, invisible, high-speed auction that happens in the split second before that ad actually appears? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a huge piece of that technology. And it really all starts with this one question. What is an ad waterfall? It sounds like something you'd find out in nature, right? But it's actually a fundamental concept that has 4 years shaped how pretty much the entire internet makes money. All right, so the more technical term for this whole waterfall method is something called daisy chaining. Now, I know it sounds a little complex, but the core idea behind it is surprisingly simple. Let's break it right down. Okay, I want you to imagine a line of potential buyers for a single ad spot. We'll call these guys ad networks. With daisy chaining, the website publisher decides the order of that line way ahead of time. The chance to show an ad gets offered to the first network, and if they pass, it goes to the second, then the third, and so on. The key phrase here, the one to remember, is predetermined sequence. This whole thing is super organized and planned out. It's not a free-for-all. And that's exactly why people call it waterfalling. You can literally picture that ad opportunity flowing downwards from one network to the next, just like water, until it finally finds a buyer. And the goal? Oh, it's simple, to squeeze every last drop of value out of their ad space and, of course, make as much money as possible. So we've got the what's and we've got the why. Now let's get into the how. How does this chain reaction actually happen in the milliseconds after you click on a website? Let's walk through it step by step. It all starts with the setup. The publisher strategically lines up their ad networks, usually putting the ones that historically pay the most right at the top of the list. Then you show up. You land on their site. Instantly, an ad request is fired off to that very first network in the chain. Now, that network gets first dibs. If it can fill the ad spot with an ad that meets the publisher's price, fantastic. The process stops right there. But if it can't, it passes the request to the next network in line, and this just keeps repeating, flowing right down the waterfall until an ad is finally served. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a lot of work to set up. So why on earth do publishers go through all that trouble? What's the real payoff? Well, when it's working right, the waterfall has some pretty huge advantages. Really, there are 3 big reasons publishers have leaned on this method for so long: getting higher fill rates, optimizing their revenue, and having much greater control. Let's dig into what each of those actually means. First up is higher fill rates. You can think of this as the system's safety net. See, without a chain, if your main ad partner doesn't have an ad to show you, that space just sits there, empty, and you make $0. But with a waterfall, you've got backups, and then you've got backups for your backups. This just dramatically increases the odds that somebody's ad will eventually show up. And hey, that's always better than a blank space. Second, and this is super important, is that it optimizes revenue. The publisher gets to offer that ad space to their best, highest-paying partners first. But if for whatever reason those top-tier partners say no, the publisher isn't just left empty-handed. Nope, the request just flows down to the next tier, who might pay a little less, but again, a lower-priced ad is way better than no ad at all. It's all about maximizing the yield from every single person who visits the page. And finally, there's control. The publisher is in the driver's seat here. They are the ones setting the sequence. If they notice one ad network is crushing it and paying well, they can bump it up the chain. If another one is slacking off, they can move it down or just kick it out completely. This gives them a really hands-on, flexible way to manage their ad strategy basically in real time. But you knew there was a but, right? Like with any technology, this clever solution is not perfect. For all its upsides, the daisy chain comes with some hidden trade-offs that can create some pretty serious headaches for publishers and sometimes even for you as the user. And what's kind of funny is that the drawbacks almost perfectly mirror the advantages. We're talking about a system that's incredibly complex to manage. It can increase latency, which just means slower load times. And ironically, it can actually lead to losing money. For starters, this is absolutely not a set it and forget it kind of deal. Managing a waterfall the right way takes constant attention. Publishers have to be monitoring performance, tweaking the sequence, and fixing problems all the time. It takes a ton of time, a lot of resources, and you really have to know what you're doing to get it right. Okay, and this is where it starts to affect your experience. Every single time that ad request gets passed down the chain, it adds precious milliseconds to the page load time. If a request has to travel down a really long chain, you might notice that annoying lag before an ad finally pops into place. That delay is called latency, and it's a direct result of how the waterfall works. And here's the biggest irony of all. A system designed to maximize revenue can actually cause you to lose it. How? Well, if a network somewhere down the chain just takes too long to respond to the request, the whole system might just give up. It'll time out. A potential bid is completely missed, the ad space goes unfilled, and the publisher loses out on money they absolutely should have made. So you see, the big takeaway here is that daisy chaining is a balancing act. It's a really powerful tool with a clear purpose, but it definitely comes with some real-world limits. Let's just step back for a second and put this all together. At the end of the day, this quote really nails it. The waterfall is a trade-off. It gives publishers incredible control and a flexible way to optimize their ad inventory, but those benefits come at a cost. Those challenges, like the slow load times and the missed bids, mean you have to manage it really carefully to avoid losing the very money it's supposed to be protecting. Which leaves us with one final big question. Daisy chaining was built for a version of the internet that was just a little bit slower. Today, we have newer technologies like header bidding that promise to call all the potential buyers at once, not in a slow sequence. So in a world where we demand everything to be instant, you have to wonder, is this foundational technique of digital advertising slowly becoming a thing of the past? Is the waterfall finally running dry?